Are you reading closely and looking? Let's read the question. Which letters of the shape represent parallelograms? Let's underline it. Y. Let's read the details. Allison found the following shape. This one right here. The shape is made up of 5 smaller shapes marked with letters A, B, C, D, and E. Let's circle some clues. Which letters represent or show parallelograms? Let's see if you can remember about parallelograms. Parallel lines are lines that never cross, and the letters that can help you remember that are the 2 L's in parallelograms, because those 2 L's will never cross. So that's just parallel lines, but remember that parallelograms have 1 set, 2 sets of parallel lines, So we're looking for 2 sets of parallel lines here. Let's cross out that L, and let's ask ourselves what we should do first, the main idea. My main idea is going to say, which letters represent parallelograms? I remember that parallelograms have 2 sets of parallel lines. 1 set, 2 sets. And I'm looking for the shapes that have 2 sets of parallel lines. So for my strategy, I'm just going to label my picture. Let's start with the letter A. Let's see, if I drew this line forever and ever and this line forever and ever, would they ever cross? No. So that's 1 set. Let me trace my next set with a blue marker. So if I trace this one forever and ever and this one forever and ever, would they ever cross? No. So that's 1 set, 2 sets of parallel lines. Is that a parallelogram? Yes, it is. So I'm going to list that A is a parallelogram. Now I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to go to B. B. So let's look for a line that's on the opposite side. Well, there's not a line on the opposite side. It's just this one up here. And if you drew them forever and ever, they actually cross. So that's not good. What about this line right here? Well, actually, those 2 cross right there too. So it's looking like this one is not a parallelogram because there are actually no parallel lines right there. So let's go on to C. So if I drew this line forever and ever and the opposite line forever and ever, they would cross. So that's not a set of parallel lines because parallel lines never cross. What about these right here? Well, I think if we kept drawing these forever and ever, they actually would cross. So that's not good. That means it's not a parallelogram. What about D? Well, maybe if we trace this line forever and ever and then this line forever and ever, nope, they cross right there. What about this line and this line right here? Nope, they cross right there too. What about this line and this line? If we drew them forever and ever, they actually would cross right there. So that's not good. So D is not a parallelogram, neither is C. What about E? Well, let's trace this one forever and ever and this one forever and ever. If we trace them forever, they would never cross, so that's 1 set. And then this is 2 sets of parallel lines. And guess what? That means E is a parallelogram, so A and E are parallelograms, and the reason why is because they both have 2 sets of parallel lines.